Hello, friends. It's Reverend Rick Beatty here with Carol Quigley, my friend and the longest current term member of this community. Been here for 41 years. And we're going to share some slides with you about where we started out and how we began. So this was the first building that Unity of Royal Oak owned. It wasn't at the beginning because they met in houses and basements, but this building is where the current Royal Oak Farmers Market is. It was at 101 South Troy in Royal Oak. And this is the house that the community purchased in 1955. Notice the price, $32,500. You couldn't buy a doghouse in Royal Oak today for that kind of money. And on the flip side of that picture is the legal description of the property. So it must have been a realtor's piece. But the thing of note is, again, the price, and that they bought two additional lots, $2,500 a piece. So that's why we have so much property. And here's just a newspaper advertisement or a newspaper article about Royal Oak Unity Congregation works to convert a ranch house into a church. So this is how, if you noticed in the previous picture, you could see where the garage was. And this is now the sanctuary that we all know that is the opening into our sanctuary and is where the garage was originally. So Carol, do you remember this time?
Yes, I remember the sign. I'm not sure why we're gathered outside, but I do remember the wood sign going way back. It was there when I started coming in 1980.
Okay. Probably a wedding, because that woman looks like she's got
a wedding gown on. I wasn't part of that particular day.
Right. And then that sign was moved to the side yard.
Was moved to the side yard, yeah.
Because you guys bought this sign.
We did buy the sign. We needed a more recognizable sign as people drove by. We wanted to let them know it was a church. And of course, we had our gardens planted as we have now.
And then
here's our new sign that we purchased quite a few years back.
Yeah, now what is it, about 3 or 4 years when we redid this sign?
Yeah, it was about, I bet it was about the second year you were here, Rick, we redid our sign.
I think so. And it says who we are, a community of love, tearing down walls, building bridges. For 90 plus years, we've been that same thing. And I love this advertisement. This is from about 1951 or 2. Royal Oak Unity Church welcomes you. And 101 South Troy at 11 Mile Road, again, where the farmers market is now. And this is we're still welcoming people. The sign says, "You are amazing." Yes, you. Now get in here. So if you've never been here, you'll be getting with us too. And can you describe what this is, Carol?
Yeah, this is our sanctuary from many years ago with our old chairs. We had aisles on each side. It wasn't configured as well as our new sanctuary, but this goes back. This is when I first came in the door in 1980.
Okay.
Probably prior to that.
Yeah, I think this was the original sanctuary. There are rooms on both sides of the platform, and as I understand it, the minister would come out dramatically out instead of coming down the aisle like we do today. And again, this shows the 3 sets of chairs, so 2 aisles, the configuration.
2 aisles, right.
Mm-hmm. And then these chairs, Carol, you have a story about these because you were involved with these when they came from Detroit Unity.
Yeah, these chairs, the pastor from Detroit Unity called and said he had some chairs. Did we want them? Well, our old chairs were worn out, so we said sure. So some guys from my shop came over to Detroit Unity. We took the chairs out. We stored them on our telegraph facility that we had back then until we could get them down and get them refurbished. So the guys brought them to the church, and a bunch of us from the church rehabbed the seats, put the fabric on the seats, cleaned them all up, the men installed them, and that's the seats we had until we fundraised about, what, 3-4 years ago, Rick, and bought our new chairs, which we're so grateful for.
Absolutely. And this is what it looked like when I came to Unity of Royal Oak, roughly.
Yeah.
Those chairs, was a nice looking place. The piano was down, kind of in a lower level next to the platform. And then somebody said to me, Rick, these chairs are awful. So I said in one time, the chairs were intended to be installed on risers, I found out later, and they leaned back far. Anyway, this was our first big project together to replace the chairs in a way that we could reconfigure the room. And we've done it many different ways now. We've had dances in here.
And here's our organist, Lance Luce. He probably played for us for 20 or 25 years. And then unfortunately, he left shortly after Reverend Hancock retired. So we were left with no music and no pastor. And he's since gone on, I think, to a Lutheran church, but he's a great organist.
And he's quite renowned. He's the lead organist for the Little Caesars Arena. He's the organist.
Oh, that's right. Oh, and here's Larry Hooks, who became the minister of Unity East. He was one of our singers, along with Tony and Julie and Kathy Joe. That's
Yep.
Kathy Joe, about maybe 18 years ago. I don't know how. I think she's been there since about 2003. So there they are. Oh, and our Dr. Debbie, she's been singing for us for years as well as a member of our church. A young Stacy Peckins. She probably wasn't married then. She's been a singer probably about 30 some years at least.
Long time. She's told me it's been a long time.
A long time. She was just about a young girl. Oh, here's our choir, right?
Here's our choir, the Music Makers. That's Reverend Carolyn in the middle. And our choir, much as they are today, a few more members. But music has always been a big part of everything here at Unity of Royal Oak. And this is some of our choir members, but just people in general. Kim organized, our creative director, Kim Lang, organized caroling, and we were over at Assisted Living Center over across the street from Beaumont Hospital here in Royal Oak. We had a beautiful time. And this is a very young Eileen Patra, who later became a licensed teacher and then a minister, was the minister at Livonia for a long time and is now retired from there. But at that time, she and her husband, they led, I think, the Uniteens, or the youth program here, didn't they, Carol?
Yes, they did. They did. And Elliot Greer was one of their leaders as well.
There's a picture of them now, right? A couple of years ago, Eileen came and spoke here. And I love this sign. It was when I drove up, I started here on the 1st of April of 2015. And the first weekend I came, they had put this sign up under New Spiritual Management, Reverend.
Yeah.
And I love this picture. I introduced this idea that our tagline, love is on the move, and it still is. So here's the board that hired me, Carol Quigley and Donna Opoka and Liz Petrie. Amazing time. And fortunately, I've lost that gut now, so I'm glad.
Yeah, you look great, Rick.
And this was a trip I took to 2019 to Unity Village, and Sharon Lewis and Mary Wackrow, they were credentialed as licensed Unity teachers that time. And this is us standing in the lobby at the Unity Conference Center celebrating. I took them to dinner later. And our current board president, Novlet Ellis, and I preach in a pink hat when there's a walk for breast cancer. I still do that. I still have the hat in my office. And this is Carol Quigley. Tell the story about why the names are on the pictures here.
Well, maybe in the middle 90s, people didn't know who some of the people were, so we put our pictures all up in the hallway going into Fellowship Hall. So there was a big picture of each one of the members with our names. Here's Marianne Catoni. So we would know who each other was by, just looking. And here we have Ann Wheeler, one of our senior member. She's been with us for many, many years. I don't think she's obviously been coming, I think, prior to COVID. And here's Elliot.
It's one of the things that Ann is able to attend now that we stream, so she
Yes.
can be here.
Elliot comes to our Course in Miracles, so we've gotten to get reacquainted with him. He and his wife came for many years, and he was in the youth program. His wife passed away a few years ago, so he comes to the course, and we've gotten to re-know him. And oh, here's Tony. Tony is one of our singers for many years as well. He looks great. And Betty Hall. Betty Hall was in charge of our kitchen. She used to come and make the coffee. We didn't have as elaborate spreads as we do now. We'd have coffee and cookies or something along those lines. And Betty would come and make the coffee. Well, Betty passed away, so no one was coming early to make the coffee. So I said, well, I might as well come and make the coffee. So it's kind of been my job for, I don't know, 20 some years, 25 years to make the coffee and ready the kitchen for our fellowship, which I've enjoyed every minute of. And I was telling Rick, one of the best things that ever happened to me making the coffee in the new pots that Sharon Lewis gave to us is Peter Hess would come back on Sunday morning. Is the coffee ready yet? And we'd have it ready for him. He said, I got to have a cup of that delicious coffee. And then he'd go off. It was really a blessing for somebody to come back and say, hey, I love your coffee. Thank you so much.
Well, for a long time, you were the only one who could get decent coffee back there. So I made some one day. It was like mud.
Right. Oh, here's Kathy Jo. You want to talk on her, Rick?
Kathy Jo Tomalenko is a dear friend and a sidekick of mine. She was ordained as a Pathways of Light minister, and she's still with us, providing congregational care in an extraordinary way. And this is she and her twin sister last fall on their 75th, not last fall, a year ago, on their 75th birthday. Dr. Debbie O'Neill, still with us, still singing.
Karen Grobel was in our church for many years, but I think she left somewhere again in maybe the 2000s, but she came for many years. Her picture was up. Steve Cito, as you know. Still with us, still recording. He's a blessing, an usher. After service, collects all the garbage, takes it out along with Nick, both a blessing to our church.
This was one of our earliest ministers, and this is a minister from the 50s, but I can't identify her. So I just put it up there because we don't have a lot of pictures of ministers. And this is a guy by the name of Dr. Crowder. He'd been a physician here in Royal Oak for 33 years, and his wife was the minister here, and he became an associate. And then later, at the time, he had to serve for a year with her, and then he was ordained as a unity minister. This was Chuck Hancock. Chuck was my predecessor. Was he the minister when you came here, Carol?
No. We had a minister, I believe his name was John Tant.
Yes.
And
okay.
He left, and then we had a lot of guest speakers. The board must have gotten guest speakers. And then we got a younger guy, and I can't recall his name right now, Rick. But he left, and then I believe the board hired Reverend Hancock, and Reverend Hancock was probably there 33 years, I think, before.
He was here just about a little over 30 years.
30 years, okay.
30 years, yep.
Okay,
And I love this picture of Kathy Jo Tomalenko on the platform, reading Daily Word. Some things don't change, although her hair color has changed.
Right.
And this is me in the sanctuary this year, just a few weeks ago. So that's the only pictures of ministers that we could find. And this is youth ministry beginning to start the service. And this gentleman is significant. What's his name, Carol?
Walter Lindow. And
Walter,
yeah, yep. He was a member of our church for many, many years. And in between when Reverend Hancock left and the hiring of Rick, Walter donated $22,000 to the church, which we used to pay bills and keep us afloat until we were able to hire Rick, and all you folks came back to our church, which was a blessing. And it enabled us to get a new sign. He did tie some money for us to refurbish the sign so people could see it driving by. And then you'll see a
Yep.
couple of kids. There's a mom and a kid. They were in our Sunday school class. I don't know the lady behind standing up, but Walter was a wonderful addition to our church, and we
Absolutely.
bless
And
him.
I've met him. He's an amazing guy. And I love the fact that he left. When I came here, there was $12,000 left of his bequest, and we never had to touch it.
No,
This is a gathering of, I think, YOU and Uniteens. I see several people I know. Joe Horn was the regional Unity or YOU director. Eileen Patra's there.
hmm
Elliot Gear's there. And I think that they're doing joy songs. So that was in Fellowship Hall back then. This is our current youth and family ministry. Our director, April Ellenberg, is on the left, says hug for you. She organized the kids this year to go to one of the nursing homes here in Royal Oak because we got word that the people were because they couldn't have any visits. So we walked around in every window. It was a beautiful thing. And this is a newspaper article about the Welcome Inn, which is a daytime warming center for homeless people in Royal Oak. That started right here at Unity of Royal Oak until it outgrew our facility. But they're still in operation, and we still support them. And this is a picture I just thought was cool. It's hat ladies. Look at Kathy Joe, second from the right, in all in white with the hats. And there's Dr. Debbie. And do you know any of the? Oh, there's Sharon.
Sharon. No, I can't think of the lady in the purple now. I can't recall some of them.
Yeah,
You said Dr. Debbie and then Reverend Hancock behind. Oh, the Hobarts.
The Hobart.
John was our board president for many years, and they brought a lot of food. They did leave and go to Unity of Livonia, but they come for the Course in Miracles. But since John has made his transition here just in January, he's missed and loved by anyone who knew him.
Absolutely. And I have a connection to John Hobart because his sister, Anne, started Unity at Clare, and that was the first church I was ever the minister for, and she hired me. So we always had that in common. But buffets have been long a part of Unity of Royal Oak. Here we got some ladies eating.
Yep, we've got Betty Hall, who was the kitchen, head of the kitchen. We have Shirley. Shirley's now in her mid-90s, 96. She comes to the Course in Miracles once in a while. And Rusty Hancock, who was we used to clean up the kitchen together. Rusty and I became close friends. So they're sitting there having their lunch.
And here's Simon Messina and I taking pictures of each other at one of our picnics. And look at that beautiful grill there. We're just getting ready to have a picnic. April Ellenberg, our third licensed Unity teacher. She's the director of youth and family with one of our members, Pam. And this is a group, I don't know what, we're always eating around here. So we all always are. We got Frank Haas on the left and Harvey Norton and Shirley Brady at the back and Marianne and Gary and the Moores.
The Moores.
Sharon and Richard.
Harvey, did you say Harvey?
Yep. Here's getting ready for some kind of a doings. And we will have some more of these. Here's our picnic. Reverend Sandy Hess is there, and a number of people. We love to be out in our yard, and hopefully we'll be celebrating with a big party this summer. And I love this. When I would, before I was hired here, I would come and sit by this fountain and just imagine creating a peace park. And we've done it. We took the fence down and opened the property up. Our neighbors come and it's a beautiful thing. Now this last section is decked out for Christmas. That's our sanctuary from the 90s, looking at it decorated for Christmas. And this was our lobby this year. It always looks nice in the lobby. We were gifted a second grand piano. Years ago, this is Reverend Chuck Hancock doing a Christmas Eve candle lighting service. This was after the DUT chairs were put in, so we kind of date it that way. And this is a couple of years ago, our Christmas Eve candle lighting service with Kim Lang, our creative director, and our music makers all up front, having an amazing service. And this is Julie Noe and Stacy Peckins, who Julie told me she sang here for 15 years, Stacy for way longer. And they also have a group. They used to go around and carol. We had them singing here. And that's them singing this year for our Christmas celebration. And our sanctuary set up for our virtual Christmas, which was a huge success, I think. This heart is made out of broken shards of glass. Mary Gilhooly from Song and Spirit helped us make this. And it represents the fact that we come here the way we are. Some people, when we come into unity, are broken, but together we do something amazing, and we heal each other. And when we do that, we heal the world. And this is a celebration. You'll see Carol Quigley there, letting go of a balloon. We had a lot of kids here back then, but 90 plus years of celebrations here at Unity of Royal Oak. Anything you want to say to wrap up, Carol?
Well, I just want to say, I know that this church means a lot to so many of us, and we're looking forward to our getting back and having our 90th celebration. And Rick, we bless you and love you. We're so grateful for you, grateful for the people that came with you, our youth director, Kim, April, our licensed teachers, everything that they've done for us in our church. We love and appreciate everything. God bless everyone.
God bless us all, because we co-create this community. Amen. Thank you, everyone, for watching this slideshow.
Oh, that was nice, Rick. Can you hear me? No.